Live streams.
I'm hyped to finally back on.
You're coming in and out a little bit. You said you have to be on the comms?
Happy to be back on comms, yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you back on comms. Let's see. I am on board with Cody.
Yeah,
he's coming around.
Pretty bad, isn't it?
Yeah, he's coming around Sector 3. Where does this put him? 1:16.5. Decent banker lap. I think he'll want to do better. But what I'm excited about for everyone that's tuned in, thank you everyone for tuning in. Yeppy is in the chat. What's up, Yeppy? So, big news today. Big news today. Well, it looks like Will Ends has some connection issues. But I was actually being joined by... this person was voted sexiest person alive by the Miller Gold Agency. No, I'm not talking about Natalie Pinkham. I'm talking about Will the Thrill. Having a little bit of connection issues. Let's see if we can get him back in here. So who's coming around? Tiny Darth joining us today, gracing us with his presence. He's trying to get up to speed with that wheel, doing some practice races here. Well, races as a reserve. Let's see what he can do, but he's always really solid. VRL Stroll with the 115.7 on the medium tires. Hubali with the 115.9 on the medium tires. So those guys looking like they are going to be going on the one stop. What else is happening?
It's a great lap there from Stroll to put himself on provisional pole on the mediums.
Yeah, that's an awesome lap. Cody is out. What happened to Cody Lewis in the Haas? I don't see where he would have crashed, actually. Not sure. Could be that's just the best he thinks he can do. So who's coming around?
I'll have a little look at the racetrack.
Yeah. So Military Shadow is...
Terminal damage, so we did crash, so we did...
I wonder where. It isn't. I don't see him on the track map. So on board with Cody, or excuse me, Military Shadow, seeing what he can do. 7th at the moment. Tiny Darth put in a pretty decent lap, 116.3.
The car will have been removed by now.
Yeah, I wonder what, he must have just crashed somewhere. I wonder where it happened.
If we're taking bets, I'm going to say the fast chicane.
Yeah, that one's really tricky. It's so easy to lose the rear of the car through there because you're pushing, but you can't push too hard. So I wonder where this is going to put Military Shadow. iConnects with the 117.5 on the mediums. Decent lap. I think he can do better. And here comes Military Shadow coming around the final corner. Decent lap, 116.1. I think he can do better than that. So let's actually stay on board with Hones. Hones, one of the quickest guys I've ever seen. On controllers to boot. See what he can do in these mediums. That's right, Yeppy. Sexiest person alive, voted by the Miller Gold Agency. 2 years running, actually.
Facing stiff competition from Peyton Manning's forehead.
Yeah, no, I was just telling Yeppy that I was announcing who I have in the booth here, who is gracing our presence, or gracing us with his presence. And I said it's the person voted sexiest person alive 2 years in a row by the Miller Gold Agency. No, I'm not talking about Natalie Pinkham. I'm talking about Will the Thrill.
You got it right.
You goddamn right.
Sexiest connection.
You goddamn right. So I'm on board with Hones. It looks like FLR is starting to lap, and then who is that in front of him? Cali Robert Dace also starting to lap. So I'm going to stay with Hones. See what he can do in his medium tires. We know he's quick. 1:15.694, ever so slightly beating VRL Stroll. Both of them with
Cali Bob ahead of him on that lap.
Okay, so let's see what's happening. MST has made it into the server. Awesome to see him here. Not sure if he'll be able to put in a lap in, but
it's a very impressive lap there by Weisheng.
Yeah, 1:14.451. Weisheng is one of the quickest guys I've ever seen. I know I'm saying that about everybody, but that's really the quality of this premier tier. It's unbelievable. So, provisional pole for Weiss Shengi. I never know whether to say Weiss Shengi or Weiss Sheng. Who is that? Faisba starting a hot lap. Calliope crossing the line in 1:15.1, so that puts him in third. Adri is going to start a hot lap. Let's see what Adri can do in response to his teammate, who is ahead of him by 9 thousandths of a second. That's remarkable, that gap. Dace is starting his hot lap. We'll see what he can do. Hasn't set a time quite just yet. Dace, I believe this will be his first race officially on the wheel. Been doing a lot of practice. And not sure what happened with Military Shadow, but he lets his teammate go. FaZe Boss, we missed it, but he put in a 1:14.874. The two Renaults about to start a hot lap. Let's go on board with Adri. He's 0.07 of a second up on his time, which theoretically should be fast enough for provisional pole as it stands. Can he keep it tidy through this last chicane? Really nice through there. Very neat. On the power early. And he does snatch back provisional pole. 1:14.312. Unbelievable. iConnects is crossing the line. He starts a hot lap. Dace is crossing the line. A 1:15.2. Great lap from Dace. So he's in P5 at the moment. And Weisheng will be starting a hot lap here. So what can he do in response to his teammate? So Weisheng, just like Adri, up 0.07 of a second. Almost 0.08. Oh, and he catches a little bit of the curb. And that's going to compromise his time, unfortunately. As Adri's getting back out there, I wonder if that's fresh rubber. No, he's getting into the pits. So let's see. Dace is jumping back into the pits. Where does this put Hubali? MST is out there about to set a lap. Oh, and he breaks loose there. Jared gonna set a lap here. So Jared 115.1 on the mediums, great lap. And then who else is out there? It looks MST just setting the fastest sector 1 on mediums. He's flying. Hubali invalidated, unfortunately. He's gonna jump into the pits. So it looks like someone crashed in the pits. So who is out there at the moment? Looks like that's iConnex. He's jumping into the pits. So it looks like everyone's going to get ready for their final run. For everyone that's tuned in, thank you for tuning in. Round 6 of the Premier Tier here at Spain, Spanish GP. MST invalidated, unfortunately. So it looks like he's backing off to do one more run. Meanwhile, let's see what Jared's up to. He's going slowly. He might bring it back into the pits. Look for everyone to start getting out of the pits here any second now. So MST will do another run. Let's see what he can do. He's currently down in 15th, hasn't set a time. FLR getting out of the way, heads up driving FLR. Again, fastest sector 1 for MST. So really amazing pace so far. Can he keep it tidy throughout the lap? Oh, he has to back off there to avoid being invalidated. Yeah, unfortunately, MST, that puts him down in 15th with that time. Really, really tough break for MST.
That was almost as slow as me just going to reset my Wi-Fi connection.
I was going to say, maybe it'd be worth it to try to reset the router. Actually, the fun fact about Will, his family is actually the only family in the UK that has America Online 56K dial-up. Hence the connection issues. Most people in the UK have no idea what America Online is. Will's family does. They're big fans of the service. So Adri's starting the hot lap. So MSC just finished his lap, but it's not good enough for anything but the back of the grid. So, but he had to really back off there. That's unfortunate for MST, but I'm happy that he'll be able to race with us, because it looks like he wasn't going to be able to make it. So Dace, looks like Dace has improved. Now he's into the 114s. Looks like we're having Will come in and out, unfortunately, due to connection issues. I'll do the best I can solo here. So who has been crossing the line? VRL Stroll is going to start a hot lap. Tiny Darth is starting a hot lap. I believe that is Military Shadow. Adri just using up all of the track. Is this going to be an improvement? And is anyone else going to be able to cross the line to start a lap? Wow, that is an improvement of 2.5 tenths or so. 114.078, incredible. FaZe Bass, he binned it on the exit of the final corner. So FLR, he's got a hot lap behind him. What is going on? Yeah, he wasn't going to make it anyway. So let's see. Who is that behind him? Military Shadow. Can he improve? Because he's currently sitting at a 115.7. He does not improve. Cali Robin validated, so he's not going to improve. I wonder how far up in terms of the times he was. Vice Shang is still giving it a go. Can he improve by about 4 tenths or so? He does improve, but it's not enough. He's a couple tenths back. Great time though. Just about into the 113s. Really is incredible. And I think that's going to do it for us actually.
Could I get another invite? Leave it one more go. Or I give up.
All right. Looks like it's going to be a dry race.
Awesome. Can you send me an invite?
Yeah, let me do that really quickly.
And if it's...
You should be able to rejoin if you just look at the friend menu. Who readied up already? Vice Shang. Oh my god, Vice Shang, what are you doing? You should be able to even if it's invite only, because if you had an invite in the past. Okay, I sent you a couple invites. Yep.
So...
Megabits. And 7 megabits is 1 megabyte, so you're getting a meg and a half. Alright. So what is this looking like? It looks like we got a front row lockout for the Racing Points. Behind them we have FaZe Bass in the Williams. Dace just behind him in 4th in the Alfa Romeo. The Alfa Romeos split by Jer in the Haas. Jer going long on that medium tire strategy. Who else is on what tire?
Okay, I'm in. Please don't kick me out.
No. So there's the strategy.
Oh, it's a good mix of tires.
Yeah,
Actually.
it looks like it's going to be mostly a two-stop, but we are going to have some people on the one-stop. Let's pull that up, actually, tires. So Jer, 5th place at the moment. He'll be going long on the one-stop. Vial Stroll on the medium tires. He'll be going long on the one-stop, looks like. Hones is another one. The guys doing well to put themselves in the top 10 to go long on that one-stop strategy. We'll see how that works out. Hubali is just behind them on the hard tire. And then we have Tiny Darth, Iconex, Cody, and MST opting for the medium tires. I think it's going to be interesting to see what Hubali can do on that hard tire. I think if there's an early safety car or a safety car somewhat middle of the race, that he might be caught out by that. But assuming there's no safety car, that could be a great strategy. So let's see what happens as the drivers get ready to get on the grid. Five lights, and what's going on here? And it looks like Jer ends up getting a drive-through penalty for jumping the start. So Jer, yeah, clearly jumped the start there. Adri and Wei Sheng there battling it out for P. It's going to be net P1 and P2. Dace got a little bit wide. That allows Calirov to get around. Ooh, and BRL getting off track there, giving up a couple positions to, oh boy, Hones. Where did he end up? He's gone off. He's gone off. Does he have wing damage? That was tough. He was sticking his nose in there, and FLR was ahead. I don't know if FLR didn't see him or what, but there was contact. So interesting for Jer. He got a great jump, but a little too early on the power there for the start. He's picked up a drive-through penalty. So Jared parks it. He's out. He's not happy, I'm sure, but I don't know who he can blame for that one but himself, unfortunately. So that's Team Paz dropping points today. And Dace is out. Dace crashed out of the final corner. And there's a safety car. So early safety car. Lap 2. Not sure what happened with Dace. I don't know what happened, Jared, but file it as an incident report, at least so we can take a look to see why that may have happened. So that's Dace out of the race. Not sure what happened to Dace. Actually, a good question. Let's look it up while they're under safety car. Yeah, Dace picked up terminal damage. I wonder how that happened, because he was in the last chicane. I believe he was right about here, unless he went forward into that wall, which it looks like he might have. Adri's coming in. He might be able... What is he going to do here? Probably for the mediums and then do the one stop. I mean, after the stop. And it looks like he is opting for the medium tires. Well, we hate to see it, Jer. I wish there was something I can do about it, but unfortunately Jer is out. Some sort of bugs with the light procedure. So this puts Adri now in 9th place, but on brand new tires. Looks like Weisheng ended up coming into the pits. Cali Rob in the pits, FLR and Hones as well in the pits. So that was a tough start for Hones, but this brings them right back into it. So is the safety car coming in this lap? No, Military Shadow from the lead, and he gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And he's out. Military Shadow decides to, I guess, to give up. Not sure why that would be. So that's going to promote FaZe Boss into the lead in the Williams, VRL Stroll in 2nd, Tiny Darth in 3rd, Iconex in 4th, MST in 5th, Hubali 6th, Cody Lewis in 7th. Military saying he has to go. I wonder why he was racing then. So FaZe Boss P1, VRL Stroll, Tiny Darth, Iconex, MST, Hubali, Cody Lewis, Adri, and Weisheng behind him. Important to note that the top 7 runners still have to pit. The remaining runners, Adri, Weisheng, Cali Rob, and Weisheng spins it under the safety car. Too much power down. So he'll be demoted to the back of the field now. Looks like those tires getting really, really cold. Safety car is going to be in this lap. So how's this strategy going to play out then for everyone that pit and for those that didn't? I think FaZe Boss probably should have pit. Safety car will go in this lap. And FaZe Boss gets a great jump. And they're back to green flag racing. Into turn 1 they go. Oh, and Iconex gets on that inside curb. He loses the car. And who is that? Looks like Cali Rob did the same thing. A little bit of synchronized pirouettes there, unfortunately, for Iconex and Cali Rob. Look, there's a great scrap happening behind, though. We've got Cody Lewis right behind FLR, who's right behind Hubali. Meanwhile, Adri's made up some positions, and he's already up into 5th place on that restart. FLR getting a little bit loose there. Baisheng is just behind them, though, putting a lot of pressure on Cody. Using up some ERS. He's going to send it down the inside. Giving him room, and he makes a position, so really great overtake from Baisheng. So that's Baisheng up into 8th. Meanwhile, Hones is doing his thing. He's in 10th. FaZe put it in the fastest lap. Looks like Baisheng is going to be able to make a move on FLR. But FLR is going to try around the outside. A little bit of contact. Oh, and FLR on that inside curb. That's a 3rd person. Losing it on that curb. And FLR is, unfortunately, he's just parking the car, is going to give up as well. So VSC, I think, to clear that car of FLR. So when is this VSC going to get cleared up? I wonder if FaZe is going to jump into the pits. He does. He's going to use this opportunity to get on the medium tires. I think that's a good call. Meanwhile, everyone else is still under the VSC. And iConnex picks up a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. And so does Tiny Darth and Hubali. So the guys, and Adri gets by Tiny Darth. iConnex goes in straight away to serve that drive-through. Tiny Darth and Hubali are still going to have to serve it. Baisheng really trying to make a move past Hubali, but he must see that he's got a drive-through. Baisheng picking up a time penalty for track limits. So that'll be 3 seconds added to his time. He's really pushing. A little bit of contact with Tiny Darth and MST. MST's in a great spot. So that's Tiny Darth in to serve that penalty. Looks like Hubali is going to stay out to try to protect his teammate. Hubali also getting the DRS, negating the advantage of Baisheng. That Mercedes looking really, really fast in a straight line. But he could be under attack here. And a move around the outside. Really nice move from Baisheng. He saw that he was closing up that inside from the last lap, so he said, okay, let's try around the outside, and that's the move made. So great move from Baisheng. So that's Baisheng up at the 4th. So what else is happening on track at the moment? Let's go on board with Hones. Hones, let's see, what are the biggest movers and shakers in terms of positions? So Hones up a spot, Cody Lewis up 8 spots, MST up 12. So great race from those guys so far. I do believe, yeah, so Baisheng has got a 3-second penalty. Hubali's got a drive-through that he has to serve. So there goes Hubali to serve the drive-through. And this will be Hones battling it out. And MST's trying to make a move on Baisheng. Pumali gets a speeding in the pit lane penalty. So Weisheng stays ahead, still in third. VRL Stroll doing a really great job though. He's in first so far. He is on his original set of mediums. He's going to have to pit for tires at some point, but so is everybody else behind him. So he's in a pretty good spot so far. So let's see what's happening behind. Yeah, so it does look like Hones got past Cody Lewis. We did miss that one. So the gap's starting to increase a bit here. It's going to be interesting to see what strategies everyone else then goes to. So it does look like the car of Adri had the fastest lap. No, but Weisheng takes it back. Weisheng doing a 21.79 in the first sector, the fastest first sector of the race so far. But just behind him, we've got Hones in the Red Bull. So what can Hones do? He's currently in fifth. Hones was caught up in an incident early in the race, but he is on fresher tires. He was able to take advantage of the safety car early on. That brought him back into the game, so he's still in it. It looks about the same exact pace as MST, about a second behind. So let's follow their sector times here. So Hones behind MST was about a tenth quicker in that second sector. And as they cross the line, we'll be able to see what kind of sector times they're doing. And Adri looks like he's really starting to chase down VRL Stroll. Is Weisheng picking up another time penalty? Adri might be able to make a move here. He does position his car for the overtake and gets it done. Nice job from Adri. Hones is not quite close enough. Yeah, that last sector from MST was a 27.2 to Hones's 27.3. Tiny Dart picking up a 3-second time penalty. Struggling a bit there with the track limits. So far we've got Weisheng with, I believe he's got 6 seconds. Yep. Hubali with a 5-second speeding in the pit lane penalty, and Tiny Darth with a 3-second penalty. And now Caliron picks up a time penalty. So unfortunate for Caliron. Iconix picking up a 3-second time penalty. The drivers here really struggling to keep it within the lines. This still seems to be the closest battle on track. The guys really are tit for tat on pace. I do believe that last sector, Honesy put in a 27.2 to MST's 27.45. And again, just in that first sector here, MST 22.2 and Honesy with the 22.0. So it looks like Honesy's got the pace to get by, but can he get close enough out of that last chicane to take advantage of the DRS? So Honesy 5/10 back with the DRS. It's just not quite close enough. So what can he do? He is on fresher tires, but he's losing time here because he is quicker in terms of the sector pace. So in the last sector, it looks like MST was a 26.9, Honesy was a 27.0, and in the first sector, it looks like it was a 22.3 and a 22.181 from Honesy. Very even on pace so far. It's turned out to be quite the battle. MST is going to have to pit quicker than Honesy though. MST on 12-lap old mediums, Honesy on 9-lap old mediums. Daysbat's picking up a penalty. Let's go on board with VRL. VRL's going into the pits. So what is he doing from lap 13, starting lap 14? Does he go for the hards? He is going for the hards. So that's VRL Stroll on the one-stopper. And Honesy still not able to get past MST. MST out of ERS, now he's harvesting. So the fastest lap so far is Device Shang. And it looks like iConnect is in the pits. He's going onto those hard tires, so he finds himself 8 seconds, 9 seconds behind a Tiny Darth. Or he's actually going to be farther back as he's still getting out of the pits. So we'll have to do some work to catch up to him. This is still the closest battle on track. We got Honesy trying to make the move on MST. MST going into the pits. So what does Honesy do here? I think Honesy can push another few laps and get onto another set of mediums. I believe, unless he already started on mediums. In which case he'll probably opt for the hards, as it is a mandatory requirement to use at least 2 different compounds in a dry race. So MST on the hards, Cody Lewis in the pits, he's on the hard tire. And Hubali gets by MST. Just barely, but he does get by. Now Hubali is on really old tires. He started the race on those hard tires. Be interesting to see what he does. Does he extend this stint and try to get himself onto the soft tires at the end? That'll be something to watch. So now what does Honesy do? So does he respond to Hubali, or MST rather, does he respond there and jump into pits? He does not, so he stays out. He stays out. There is a yellow in Sector 2. What happened there? Looks like Cody may have lost traction there somewhere, but he looks like he's okay, so he'll continue. Meanwhile, MST is right behind Hubali. Hubali is extending this run. I wonder how many laps Hubali is going to be able to do. Look for him to push into the 20s in terms of the laps. Hubali's still out there extending that hard tire run. Adri jumps into the pit, so Adri will now be on the hard tire. Tiny Darth picking up another time penalty. It's so tricky, this circuit. Let's go on board again with MST then. So I'm really surprised here actually that there haven't been any team orders from Mercedes. You would think that MST on the fresher tire would have a much better pace and that Hubali would let him by and then Hubali could use MST's slipstream to go even faster. But as it stands, it looks like they are slowing each other down a bit. Now by how much, it's hard to say. So let's go on board with Cali Rob. Or rather Adri, and behind him you see Cali Rob. So that's Adri with the fastest Sector 2. 29.151 in Sector 2. The fastest so far today. And MST has gotten past Hubali. I think that makes sense now because now MST can go fast and Hubali can stay in that slipstream. Who else is in the pits? Hones is in the pits for the hard tires. FaZe Boss is in the pits. He's going for the mediums. So he started on the soft tires. Where does this put him out? Hubali. He's in, serving the 5-second penalty. He's going on to the set of medium tires. So where does this put him out? I think he'll still be in 9th. So this is now going to be a great battle. Now we've got Hones and MST. Hones on slightly fresher tires. So this has played out remarkably well for Hones. I do believe before this pit stop phase of the race that Hones was behind and could not get past MST. So Hones with a great undercut. Hones given a lesson in strategy today. Adri set in the fastest lap at the 1:17.7 on those hard tires. Really great lap. So let's see what MST can do here. But yeah, so far we've got VRL Stroll in first place. He's done his strategy really to perfection today. Really a shout out to VRL Stroll. VRL Stroll is now a full-time driver, a new full-time driver after having a really great debut as a reserve. He impressed everybody in that race at Zandvoort. So now he's racing for AlphaTauri. He started on the mediums, I believe, and now he's on the hard tire, and he finds himself in first place in that P1. Now, is he going to be able to hold off Adri? It's going to be tough, but this circuit, I feel like as long as you get a decent exit out of the chicane, you can really stay ahead, but he's really got to focus to make sure he gets clean exits. And it looks like he is able to get on the power that little bit better than Adri. Now, Weisheng is behind on the better tire. So how is this strategy going to play out? Adri goes to defend. They're both gaining on Stroll. And Cali Rob picks up the 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So Cali Rob will be kicking himself for that one. And it did look like Honesy was able to get past MST, so that's Honesy. I'm sorry, Honesy staying ahead of MST rather. So that's another duel that's happening. The strategies really playing a part in this race today. Some of the drivers on mediums like Weisheng and FaZe Bass. Meanwhile, the rest on the hard tires. And then VRL Stroll and Adri, for instance. Let's go on board with Adri. because Adri's on fresher tires than VRL Stroll. Now, what kind of advantage will they give him? And as Tiny Death picks up another time penalty. FaZe Bass picking up a time penalty, so that's unfortunate for FaZe Bass. So it looks like Adri's going to have a really great run here. This should be the move made for Adri. And Adri does have the positioning in the corner. Now Baisheng will be trying to doing a switchback-ish here, move here, to see if he can get past Stroll into turn 4. He's not going to be quite close enough. Let's go on board with MST. MST's down in 5th. He's trying to stay with Hones. They both have very similar pace. And let's go back up to Baisheng actually. So this is the battle for the lead as it stands. Adri P1, VRL Stroll P2, Baisheng P3. So far we have 4 DNFs. We got Dace DNF. As Baisheng goes for the move. And he does get the job done. So that's Baisheng up into P2. So yeah, we have Dace out. Jer out. Military Shadow out. FLR out. 4 DNFs so far today. Now what's going to happen here? It's possible, and Adri and Baisheng with a great exit out of that final corner. I think Baisheng got a better exit out of that corner. Is he going to try and move here? It's going to be close. Let's see what happens from Stroll's perspective, and it looks like Adri did slide across the track there in front of Baisheng, but I think he was clear. Great battle for P1 that's happening at the moment. So this is keeping BRL in the game. If maybe he's not as quick as they are, which without looking at the sector time, it's hard to tell, them battling is helping BRL Stroll to stay with them. And let's go on board with Tiny Dark. He's having a great battle for P10 with Iconex. I believe they both have penalties. And Hones picks up a time penalty. So that's unfortunate for Hones, because he's fighting with everything he's got to stay ahead of MST, but if MST doesn't pick up a penalty, MST, even behind him crossing the line, will come out ahead. And Baisheng and Adri having just a colossal battle for P1. The guy's getting the elbows out. I think he's going to try and move around the outside again here. He doesn't quite have the positioning. Adri leaving him the room. Oh, and they're touching. They're making contact there. I think the drivers did well to back out of it. That easily could have had both drivers hooked into the wall there. I wonder if Baisheng has got wing damage there. I don't think so. Doesn't look like it. So I think that's everyone with already having done their final pit stops. Everyone will be going to the end. Great battle between the Racing Point drivers of Baisheng and Adri. VRL Stroll just behind. VRL Stroll with a great race so far. But just behind them, we've got Hones, who is actually catching up to this group of cars. And behind him, he's got MST, who's still about 6/10 back. Let's go on board with Baisheng. Can he get close enough to try a move? I don't think he will. He might try to put the car there. But yeah, just slightly behind. Getting a little squirrely on that curb. That's going to allow VRL Stroll to get by. So a mistake from Baisheng costing him a position. He's going to try the switch back here on this really wide corner, but VRL Stroll getting a great drive out of these corners. So this is going to allow Adri to run away here. this mistake from Vice Shang. So let's see what's happening with MST. MST, he's still within striking distance if Owens makes a mistake here. Vice Shang, let's go back up to Vice Shang, the battle for P2. And he has to back out, not quite close enough. But he might make a move around the outside. It goes a little bit too wide though. Oh, and the driver's really going for it in the Sector 3. Wow, what a move from Vice Shang around the outside in the chicane. You don't really see that too often. But now Stroll's going to have the DRS. So can Stroll make the move here? He does jump down the inside, and it looks like Stroll does have the positioning. So these guys really going at it. And Stroll, he got on that inside curb. So many drivers making that mistake today. Really unfortunate for Vialle Stroll. I think that was an easy podium. So that promotes Hones up a position to third. MST as well up a position to fourth. And Stroll is now down in fifth. And now Face Bass can smell blood because he knows he's on much fresher tires. And you can see him really utilizing that ERS as it stands. And that's unfortunate for Vialle Stroll because he was saving it onto his ERS for a late race charge. And I think he's got wing damage. Ah, you hate to see it for Vialle Stroll. He's got wing damage. Really, really tough break for Vialle Stroll. Nick Fry saying, brutal. I agree. Vialle Stroll's a great driver who impressed so much in his debut race. He gets out of the way, goes a little wide to let FaZe Bass through. So really nice etiquette. You don't want to hold up anyone else if you're compromised and they aren't. And yeah, he's going to get through anyway. So tough break for Vialle Stroll. But look for him to put on the soft tires and try to go for that fastest lap to take it from any of the other drivers. So now what's happening on track at the moment? I think so Cody Lewis goes up to 6th. Cali Rob up to 7th. Vialle Stroll coming out into the pits. I think he'll be 8th. He is going for those soft tires. Let's watch Cali Rob. We haven't really focused too much on him in this race, but we know this guy's lightning quick. He's on the better compound than his opponent ahead, Cody Lewis. So I believe Cali Rob is going to catch Cody Lewis before the end of this race, as long as he doesn't make any errors. And let's go actually to Tiny Darth, because he's still just behind Iconex. Turning out to be quite the battle for 10th place. Adrian with the fastest lap, a 1:17.751. Cali Rob now within a second. Let's actually jump over to the car of Cali Rob. 7 tenths, but it looks like Cody Lewis is getting a better exit out of that chicane, which is crucial in order to try to stay ahead. So that keeps them ahead. So let's go back to the car of Tiny Darth. It looks like he's fallen back a bit. It looks like he was allowing the leader to get through the lead car of Adri. So now Adri, he is going to get past Iconex there. And that'll bring Iconex back towards Tiny so that they can continue their battle. Getting a little sideways there on the exit of that final corner, Adri does. So what can Vice Shang do? He is on the better compound. His tires are going to wear out faster than those hard tires though. But I would imagine they're about equal in terms of pace, those tire compounds as it stands. Let's go on board with Cali Rob. Let's see what he can do out of the exit of this final chicane. And here comes Cali Rob with the DRS and ERS. Cody defending. And Cali Rob around the outside in turn 1. What a move, but he's still there. Cody is. Does he leave him the room? He does leave him the room. Looks like a little bit of lag going on, but Cody Lewis, the guy's really going for it, getting the elbows out. Great battle. Looks like some of the guys having some lag issues. So what else is going on? We got Huban Lee now trying to chase down Stroll. It looks like there was that blinking yellow light on the car of Huban Lee, which indicates that he's underfueled. So in an attempt to go aggressive with to lower the weight of the car, a lot of drivers will underfuel the car and then throughout the race try to put the car into lean, try to make up for that fuel. So Huban Lee is not going to be strong on the straights, because if he's almost low on fuel, that means he can't put it in rich for too long. So what can Cali Rob do here with the DRS? He gets a decent exit. Now he's only 4/10 back. This should be the move made. And Cody Lewis as well, he's got the yellow light indicator, so he'll be having to have the car on lean. And he's just not close enough, Cali Rob. Let's go to Huban Lee, trying to chase down Stroll, and he's not close enough either. But the battle continues for P6. The guy's really giving it everything. You could see when they were side by side, both drivers were giving each other the respect, the room. You'd love to see the guys fight hard but fair. So can he make a move here? I think Cali Rob's going to be able to make a move here, but he's just not quite there. They bang wheels a little bit of contact. I think Cali Rob went in a little bit deeper than he was anticipating, but no harm, no foul there. Just a little bit of sidewall to sidewall contact, and then Cody stays ahead. Joe is in the chat. What's up, Joe? This should be the move made then for Cali Rob. Yeah, and you can see for the car of Cody Lewis, he's got low fuel, so he's probably having to put his car on lean quite a bit. And that's Cali Rob through. Great move from Cali Rob. Looks like Cali Rob's having some kind of connection issues. Hopefully he doesn't disconnect. Let's go on board with Tiny Darth. So the battle for P10 continues still. So you got Iconex, who's had a string of bad luck with races, having a lot of DNFs. So his big focus is to finish the race, grab some good points for Team Red Bull. So can Tiny Darth make the move here? It's not quite close enough, but you can see him trying to figure out, trying to eye up the move. So Tiny Darth, a really smart racer, he's going to try to see where Iconex's weakness is and try to attack. Let's go back up to Cody. And he's falling back a bit, so it looks like he must have lost traction out of the final chicane. He was just 4, 5, 6 tenths behind, and now he finds himself a second behind. And then MST is another one. He's still trying to chase down Honesy. These guys having just a great scrap on track. Snowboard with Tiny Darth. This is the closest battle on track at the moment, I believe. The guy's really going for it. So it looks like there's 2 laps to go. This one and one more. So really close battles from MST and Hones. Really close in the battle for P10 with Iconex and Tiny Darth. Getting a little squirrely there out of the final corner. So it looks like this train of cars of Hones is catching Tiny Darth and Iconex. Not sure what's happened with Iconex, but it looks like that's Tiny Darth that's going to get through. And that's Tiny Darth through, so that's Tiny Darth in P10. Oh, and so close there. What a great scrap this is. Iconex going wide in the dirty air. So now the driver's on their final lap. So let's see, can MST get past Hones? And can Iconex get past around Tiny Darth? So the battle for P3 and the battle for P10. Really awkward positioning for these lead cars. Just because they're having a fight while the guys that are lapping are having a fight as well. But Iconex getting out of the way, Tiny Darth getting out of the way. It just doesn't look like MST is going to be able to get him here. So that's P1 Adri, P2 Vice Shang. Great race from those guys. Congratulations to Adri and Vice Shang. And shout out to Honesy, putting it on the podium with a great drive today. Great fight with MST. FaZe on his 2-stop strategy, making it work. He gets P5 today. And then Calirob, tough race, but recovered up to P6. There'll be some good points for Team Alfa Romeo. Behind him, we've got Cody Lewis. And Cody Lewis will actually take P6 due to penalties. So that's VRL Stroll in P8. He'll be disappointed with that because he was fighting for the podium. And we got Huberly in P9. What a race. What a race. Racing Point. Looking dominant there. So let's see. Yeah, it looks like Hones did end up losing his P3, unfortunately. So that promotes MST to 3rd. Wow. MST doing a great job. No penalties. Let's see what the incident reports look like. Quite a bit there. A lot of track warnings. But that's the win for Adri. And Bai Sheng was just behind, but ended up way further back. I think it was only 4 seconds back, though. Really close battle between the Racing Point teammates. MST with an insane battle with Honesy. That was really great to watch. FaZe doing great on that 2-stop strategy. And that's just a really tough break for Honesy because that was the podium. Wow. So that is round 6 here at Spain, the Premier Tier. So we'll be having a weekend off for the April weekend, but thank you everyone for tuning in. That was quite the battle, a whole weekend full of great racing. F1, round 1 started up today as well, so exciting times. Thanks again for tuning in, and take care, everybody.